My screen is visible to you all. Am I audible? Good evening, all. Oh, I'm able to observe this window. I don't know why, but before I was not able to look into window, though I started webinar. Anyways, got a little late for that. Good evening once again. Good evening, everyone. How are you all? All are enjoying trading commodities? Yeah. Wonderful. That's great. So let us start our new, session with the technicals. Did you people observe yesterday after inventory price again went down? Yesterday night itself, according to the technicals, it was bullish, it made high, but from the same resistance, I think you all know that the same resistance which I told you yesterday in the class. From that same resistance, it was one way down, right? Well, I'm just not opening the charts today because otherwise we'll waste our time over here. But I think you people would be remembering that. Anyways, let us start and let us focus on our learnings. At the end of the session, we'll go through the charts and we'll do any clarification if it's required. Okay. Shall I move? So are you people observing Bollinger Bands? Yeah, you had capped this Bollinger Band in your that's wonderful, in your charts. Yes, good evening once again. Yeah, so just try to keep this in your charts as of now. Still, our most important topics are left according to technicals. Today, we are going to take a very easy topic, that is moving average, MACD. Yeah, we'll try to finish super trend also and PSR also, but these all are very simple topics. The very important topic are still left. Exactly. So all, please, the rest of session, whatever is left in our class, they all are very, very important and they can help you a lot in your trading life. So please be focused and please try to attend all the session live. Not telling that today's session is that important. I'm talking about from tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. Yeah, we'll start a new topic from I'll planning to start Ichimoku from tomorrow, and that's a very, very important. So please try to attend it live and let's see whether we'll continue it on Saturday or not. Okay. So today's topic is little bit easy. We'll go to charts and we'll also do the clarification at the end of the class. Bollinger Band we already did, but let's see. All of you had seen the Bollinger Band and how it works, a squeeze and contraction and yeah, breakouts. So as Bollinger Band is a little bit lagging indicator, it's a lagging indicator. In the middle band of the Bollinger Band, what do we see? Come on, answer me, please. Sorry. Perfect. So 20 simple moving average is a lagging indicator. Moving averages are lagging indicator. So the Bollinger Band is also a lagging indicator, but it shows us the direction. It shows us how exactly the plenty of things we can learn from the Bollinger Band. So all the indicators maybe though it may be leading or lagging, all the indicators have its own pros and cons. Please try to understand each and every indicator in depth so that you people can make best of it. And exactly, if you will work on the indicator and if you'll know the pros and cons of the indicator, you will able to read charts properly and will try able to pick up good movements. Now, as it is a lagging indicator, as today we are going to start moving averages, which are lagging indicator. So, what does the lagging indicator means? We already know leading indicators. Which are leading indicators? RSI and stochastic, right? So, why you people are taking too long to answer? Yeah, perfect. So, lagging indicator, in lagging indicator we get moving averages, even super trend, even uh, yeah, MACD. So now we are going to focus on lagging indicators and how they are helpful to us. They why they are lagging? Because they are based on the past data. See, by in the past 10 minutes, car is moving at the speed of 94 kilometer per hour. Okay, that's just a simple example. So it is moving at a 94 kilometer per hour since the last 10 minutes. Then it slowly it is moving 97 kilometer per hour. Then it is moving 100 and yeah, 100 kilometer per hour. Or if we take the reverse way, that first it is moving 94 kilometer per hour, then 87 kilometer per hour, or 88 kilometer per hour, 90 kilometer per hour, 87 kilometer per hour, then 84 kilometer per hour, then 80 kilometer per hour. What does this mean? This means that the car is slowing down, right? If we calculate the past speed of the car running, say by 94 to 90, 90 to 86, 86 to in that way, if it is getting little bit slower and in front, if we are getting one good U-turn or full cross road, then what does it mean? Anyone can answer me, please. Come on fast. Am I audible to all? Is my voice clear? What does that mean? If we can see good crossover ahead and if car is moving little bit slow, it's getting slower. We are observing one car. It's okay, Girish sir, just you missed very less. We started little late, so just go through little bit of recorded session. It will be fine. So where are others? If car is going little slow per kilometer per hour, if it is like 97 kilometer, it is moving in the speed of 97 kilometer per hour, then afterwards it decreases to 94, then 90, then 87, 84 respectively. And in front, if you are getting, if there is a good crossing or a turn, what do you expect? No answers. Where are you all? Are you people trading in commodities? Speed is reducing, right? So according to the past data, we get to know that the speed is reducing. Again, according to the past data, we came to know that the speed of the car is reducing, and ahead we can see turning. So there is a high probability of car to take a turn. Am I right? Because yeah, because its a speed is reducing at time, means according whatever, if we look into charts, or sorry, if we look or observe the speed of the car, then it is reducing. So and again ahead there is a turn. So according to the past calculation, or according to the past data, we can predict at that after some time, or what can be the next move. This is actually the task of lagging indicators. Lagging indicators are based on past data. They are basically the average of past data, and they tell us that if so and so things had happened in the past. Just you people can take any other example also. See, just if before 6 months or before a year the price of sugar per kg was 20 rupees, then after 2 months it increased to 30 rupees, after 2 months it increased to 40 rupees. So what would be after 2 months? Come on, fast. It's a very, very easy topic today. Nothing difficult, nothing complicated. I need your support so we can just go fast. It will increase. So what does it shows? Which sort of trend it is showing? It is showing uptrend. Yeah, perfectly. So we'll just come to know, it will give us the clear trend. According to the past data, we'll get that what can be the trend, and how the price action will follow according to the history or whatever has happened before. So now you people got an idea or the advantage of lagging indicator, right? So now what is the disadvantage? What are disadvantages of lagging indicators? There is a time delay. Okay, sometimes before you get the signal, the momentum would be over, and you end up taking a wrong trade or a trend. Got it? Because according to the past data, once we come to know, before that the trend will change. So sometimes we may end up taking wrong entries or a very late entries. So this is an disadvantage of a lagging indicator. So we need to overcome disadvantage, and we need to take an advantage of this indicator. Okay, so let us go ahead. We'll explain you how we can work on this. See, let us start with a moving average. We'll go to the MACD and we'll make you understand other things also. Yeah, just minimizing other windows. So it's very important to know the disadvantage, pros and cons, and I'll show you right now in the chart what are the pros and cons of these all indicators, and accordingly you need to try to pick the best of the indicator. Okay, so moving averages are the easiest ones, and it's the most popular technical indicators. I think this is the most simple topic of our complete session. So it's very easy to understand also, to apply also, and to implement also. Definitely, Milind sir. In between also we'll go to the live charts. Don't worry. But yes, according to the requirement, we'll go to the live chart. But yes, for the clarification, Milind sir, you are asking me, clarification I'll take afterwards. I'll just explain you this theory portion. Along with that, if we require, then we'll go to the chart for the same indicators. But for the clarification, we'll look into live charts afterwards. Okay, no problem. We'll do that, Milind sir. Don't worry. You're not talking about clarification, so you want to finish theory first and then jump to charts. Let's see. If required, we'll do that. Let's see how it moves. Okay. See, moving averages are the easiest and most popular technical indicators, but they are trend following indicators. They work best in a strong trending period. See, many traders are momentum trader, as I already told you people. Many people like to trade when there is a strong momentum, when there is a strong trend, when the trend is built up, when the price is already moving in one direction or in with one speed. At that time, or many traders try to jump into that trade and take their own pie and then come out of the position. So for that, traders moving average will give a wonderful results, because as it's a lagging, it will give little bit late entry, and in the trending market it will work wonderfully. Moving average trading systems tend to lose money during the periods of choppy trading. Yes, Anuj sir, not exactly like that. There also we need to be very cautious for the entry and exit. Otherwise, as you are telling that Behti Nadi mein haath dhona, it can be again different way also. Um, yeah, we should not try to catch already which is moving so fast, or already or falling net, whatever. It's a very tricky. So there also you need to be little bit cautious for the entry exit. But yes, for the trending market, when there is a strong trend, moving average will give you wonderful results. We'll teach you that also, sir. Just remind me. We'll teach you how to scalp 5-10 points profits, okay, with our setup. See, the two basic and commonly used moving averages are simple moving average, which is a simple average of a security. Whatever script you are using, it is just a simple average of a security over different periods of time. And the exponential moving average, which gives a greater weight to more recent prices. Okay, so exponential moving average gives a weight to more recent prices, whereas simple moving average is a simple average of a security over a defined periods of time. So the most common application of moving averages are to identify the trend direction and to determine support and resistance levels. All the different sort of the moving average gives a wonderful support and resistance zone. And other is to identify the trend. It will give us the clear direction of the trend. So while moving averages are useful enough on their own, they also form basis for their other technical indicators, such as a moving average convergence divergence, such as a MACD. So MACD indicator is based on the moving average. In the same way, in the Bollinger Band, we are using moving average, right? So there are many indicators which are based on the moving averages. Clear? Any query? Moving averages lag current price action because they are based on past prices. And longer the time period for the moving average, the greater the lag. So thus a 200-day moving average will have a much greater degree of lag than a 20-day moving average, but it can, because it contains prices for the past 200 days. See, this is the simple thing. The higher the time period which we use for the moving average, if it is more, then it will have a more degree of lag, right? And if it is less, then we'll get a less lag. The length of the moving average to use depends on the trading objectives. So right now, what we are focusing? Are we focusing for positional or we are focusing for intraday trades? Any answer? Yeah, so our time frame is as of now less, right? So we won't focus on 200, 450 moving averages. But yes, if our time frame is little bit huge or in the higher time frame, we can go for that moving averages also for the support and resistance zone and for the direction. Right now, we are focusing on the intraday trade, so we don't need this moving averages, right? The 50-day and the 200 moving averages are widely followed by investors and traders for the positional trades. With break above and below these moving averages are considered to be important trading signals. See, many people just trade only based on the this moving averages. If the price goes above that, means then this moving average will be support or either way, support or resistance. So there are many other systems or indicators are also based on this moving averages. But as of now, we are focusing on the short time frame. We'll want look into this moving averages. And as of now, as I already told you that in our technical setup, we are using Bollinger Band, which is also using 20 SMA, right? Now, next we are going to use Ichimoku trading setup. So in Ichimoku trading setup also, though we are not using moving averages, but we are going to use there we are going to use um wow, beautiful candle. Anyways, we just maximize it. We are going to use not exactly the moving average but the average of the high and low. Clear? So as we are going to already use all these things, we are not using the complete setup just based on moving average. Are you all listening to me? We don't need to just rely on moving averages because already we are going to use this sort of things in our technical setup. If we are not focusing on that, then we can work on that. Still, I will show you people how this simple moving averages work. I'm just keeping two oscillators over here. This is moving average convergence divergence, which we are going to study now, and the stochastic, which we had already studied. One should work on multiple indicators and keep checking or to expertise on any way on in one anyone what is advisable. It may be difficult to keep checking various indicators which may confuse exact entry exit points. Good question, Anuj sir. What do you think? Do we need multiple indicators in our setup? Come on, I need answer from everyone. Do we need that? So I'm getting mixed answers. So many are telling that we don't need much. We need to expertise one or two. We need leading indicator. See, now the answer is very, very simple. We need to use our technical setup and we need to expertise that. We don't need to learn everything. It's like an ocean. It's a never ending story. Few indicators. Yeah, definitely. It should suit our type. So very few indicators which are giving good support and resistance zone. And above all these things, I just showed you people the power of dynamic support, resistance, and candlestick pattern. Do you people agree that the simple plain charts are also very powerful chart patterns? dynamic support and resistance zone, and candlestick patterns. Now, why we are using all these indicators and why we are studying these indicators and why we should know uh, some indicators. Okay, so what we should make our own technical setup, stochastic, pivot, Fibonacci, and few more. Okay, so yeah, even dynamic support resistance, wherever the price has stopped before, it also gives a wonderful results, and on the basis of that, all these indicators are calculated. If you go and check the formula, wherever the buyers, the tug of war between buyers and sellers, wherever the price has stopped before, that is called the price action strategy, right? Wherever the price has stopped before, wherever the buyers has taken place, wherever the sellers had taken back seat, these things are used in the calculation of pivot points, again the retracement levels, Fibonacci retracement levels, and all other type of support and resistance zones, such as a moving average. As I told you right now, moving average is giving also good support and resistance. How it is calculated? Can anyone answer me? Just now I told you people. It is based on the closing price of the previous days, right? Or previous session. It is just an average of the closing of the previous session. Yeah, Pawan Kumar sir, that's wonderful. Definitely, the thing is that the rationale behind is that whatever indicators, why these indicators we are using all this to give us a complete conviction in our trades, to increase our own conviction, to give us a this indicators will give us confidence, as whatever we are thinking, according to that these indicators are also moving. And that's a wonderful, Pawan Kumar sir. So you started your trade and you made a good amount of profits, so that will increase your confidence, and continue the way you are going, sir. Definitely that will help you. The thing what I want to make you people understand is that whatever setup or whatever indicators we are using, you need to backtest them. You should be confident in using that. As uh, just a simple example, as I am very much comfortable with Fibonacci retracement levels. You know, I think in the third session itself, I explained you people that somebody will tell that I am using only moving averages and I am a momentum trader. I am support and resistance trader. I focus on only support and resistance, and I am support and resistance trader. Somebody will tell, I am Ichimoku trader. I just follow that setup and make wonderful trades. In the same way, Pawan Kumar told that he used pivot points and moving averages and had made wonderful profits, right? So all this technical setup are going to help us to take our decision for a entry, exit, SL, and target. Am I right? Now, how to make most of these indicators, or how to, if we are knowing such a few indicators, say by one leading indicator should be in our technical setup, right? All of you agree with me? Which will give us direction. In the same way, one lagging indicator should be in our technical setup, which will give us conviction that this RSI is showing that this trend or the price is going to take turn, or the car is going to take a turn left side, and after some time even moving average also tells, or the lagging indicator also tells, or the speed of the car also tells that it is going to take a left turn, then you will get double conviction. So this is why we will use one leading, one lagging indicator. Along with that, what should be in our technical setup? In our technical setup, there should be volume of buyers and sellers, what they are going to tell us, and very easy and accurate entry and exit. Definitely. What is the first thing we'll look for entry and exit? We are going to look for the support and resistance zone, and support or resistance candlestick pattern. Perfect. We'll look for the candlestick pattern. So though we look for the candlestick pattern, if I am getting, let me remove this. As of now we are not studying this. I'll just remove and I'll show you people. All of you please answer me a few things. It's a very interesting and a good question. I think it will be helpful to everyone, and it is going with our current topic also. I'm just plotting moving average over here. Okay, see here I am trading in the short term, so I'm just selecting 9. Okay, 9, 26, or 8 and 13. All these moving averages are the numbers which actually works very well. I'm just choosing simple moving average SMA. Okay, done. And I'm plotting one more moving average over here. Mm, as I am going for intraday trades, as of now, I will plot. I can, if I'm going with 8 and 24, or 9 and 24, or I will plot 26 right now. Same way, simple moving average, and I am making it a green color. Okay, fine. See now, at the prior or the dynamic support zone, right now I'm not plotting any support zone. Shall I plot it for you people? I can just keep pivot points over here, is easy to plot. Again, Fibonacci levels you can draw in the morning itself and can point out that levels. Okay, make your chart as simple as possible. This is fine. Yes, I can make pivot points if you want. Sorry. I'm just keeping pivot points with the Fibonacci over here. Okay. And little bit increasing the size. Here I'll just minimize this. Now this also. This. See, now I had plotted a simple moving average. One is 9 and another one is 26. Okay. So just look here at the support zone. What we will look for first trade in our setup as of now, for the support and resistance zone, maybe it may be pivot point or a dynamic support and resistance zone. Along with that, the candlestick pattern. Am I right? Any confusion in that? Any confusion in that? Come on. No, I am making you understand something which is very, very important. Okay, so this question was at the right time, I can tell you all. And this thing what I'm making, trying to make you understand, that will help you a lot in your trading life. So all of you please focus and let us make it more interactive. I want that all of you understand these things. See, after little bit of experience, you people will definitely get it. But when I'm telling you out of my experience, this will help you people a lot. while taking your trades with conviction, and you will get the confidence to trail your profits and to jump in your profits, okay, or to wait for your target. I think this is the live market. I'm just avoiding this right now, okay. We don't want to divert myself. This is 15-minute chart. We can look into hourly chart also. Let us go for the hourly chart, okay. See now. Yeah, so little bit less noise we'll see over here in the higher time frame. In the shorter time frame, we'll get more noise. Now, what we'll look for the prior support and resistance zone, right? So this is the prior resistance zone. One minute. This Zerodha is having this problem. It won't show me that complete chart properly. Anyways, this resistance zone is very clear, right? So this is the prior resistance zone over here. Come on, please answer me. Yes. According to the prior resistance zone, the price is showing the reversal candlestick pattern at the resistance zone. It is a pivot point. It is a dynamic resistance over here also. We are getting a beautiful candlestick, reversal candlestick pattern, and according to the candlestick pattern, we can make a sell entry over here when price comes over here after this candlestick pattern, or after this candlestick pattern we can make when the price comes over here for a sell entry with the 10 points of SL, right? Any confusion in that? Any confusion for that? No. So when we take our sell entry, along with that, now just look here and answer me. Along at this dynamic resistance zone, if I am getting such a beautiful candlestick pattern, the candlestick pattern is telling me to sell. I already kept a sell over here with the 10 points of SL. My SL has not gone. I got a beautiful sell over here, right? Along with this, the moving average or a MACD also has given the crossover. Just a minute. Sorry. Sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, see MACD also, MACD over here. MACD has given this crossover. Here it has consolidated, and again it has given crossover over here. Right? MACD has not given crossover over here. Here it has given, but here it has not given. Here it has given for the upward movement. But here still MACD has not given. But can you people see the stochastic has given the crossover? Come on. Exactly at this candlestick pattern. Now already I had taken my sell entry. This crossover will give me more conviction. Stochastic, I just implemented stochastic. You can go for the RSI also. RSI and stochastic, or stochastic RSI, whatever. Leading indicator. It's a leading indicator, right? So along with this candlestick pattern, again this, now again here, this moving average, all of you can see after this reversal candlestick pattern, moving average is also given me crossover. Which moving average I used? Just for the intraday trades, I had used 9 and a 26 simple moving average. It has given the crossover. Yes, and it is a deal hourly chart. So here, whether I will book my profits after this candlestick pattern over here, or shall I extend my profits? What would be my next target? This pivot points. What shall I do? What you people will do? Come on, answer me. Let us look that we don't know what has happened next. Yeah. What you will do? You will wait for the next target, right? Because what the stochastic give crossover. Still MACD has not given crossover. Again, this moving average also had given the crossover. And there was a strong bearish candlestick pattern in the hourly chart, so I may get further target. So this is the way how you can trail your SL. What you can keep your SL, this can be your SL with a no profit and no loss zone. Now Ashim sir, I'm coming to your question. We just wait, hold on. Now here, just look that we waited. Are we getting our target? Here we getting our target. Now here when we are here, the price has consolidated a lot. This we are getting a very beautiful example. It's not going one way down. It has consolidated a lot, but then still the upward crossover was not that. And here after the consolidation, moving average has given us the little bit of crossover. Still it is consolidating. Are you looking? Till that the stochastic has made, given the upward crossover, downward crossover, it is still in the consolidation. So it was a huge consolidation, but we got this pivot point as a target. Again there was a crossover. So when this MACD is giving a crossover after the stochastic has given the crossover, that will give us the double confirmation. Why MACD will give double confirmation? Because MACD is a lagging indicator. So as Ashim sir, you are telling, do we need to wait till next crossover in moving average? Uh, we will look at the resistance zone for the crossover of the moving average and just look into this till next crossover. For the buying side, it will be on the sell side. Just look, see how wonderful movement it has given. Here it was a crossover, here it consolidated but had not given the crossover. Now here it has given the crossover for buying, right? Here you can make a buy entry and see you are getting the targets. But only by using this indicator, it's not suffice. Always see there was a plenty of consolidation in between in these examples. Some examples will get without any consolidation. And again, see when this crossover, when I was talking to you all, here the stochastic has given us a crossover. Again, the stochastic gave crossover over here. Cross Stochastic has made a buy and sell both entries, right, a number of times in this consolidation, and MACD has consolidated in this example. So these things happen in the market. So what we can do as how we can trade, we as an intraday trader, this pivot point would be the next target for us. If this is crossed, and along with that, if MACD has given the crossover over here and the stochastic has given crossover over here, can you people see this? This year we took an entry. This would be our first target pivot point. Here we achieved our target. Again here, can you see the crossover at this zone? See here again price went to retrace the same level, and again it made a low. Again here it is a crossover for the buying side. So actually it is a consolidation phase. Actually it is a no trade phase, right? 100% consolidation. But even in the consolidation, at the support and resistance zone with the candlestick pattern, along with the candlestick pattern, and along with that, if you get the crossover from stochastic, and after few minutes, if you get the same crossover from MACD, you can carry forward your position for a longer time frame. See, just look here. This is the prior support zone. We got a good reversal candlestick pattern at the support zone. Come on, all of you, please answer me. Are we getting? Yes. Stochastic is also giving the crossover. Yes, stochastic also giving crossover. So we will make our buy entry at here itself with the minimum SL allow according to the candlestick pattern. Now, moving ahead, after this as a first target, this would be our next target, right? So here now again, along with the stochastic, give us entry before, along with the candlestick pattern, right? Any you can use, sir. Just a minute, I'm coming to your question. See, now here stochastic has given us entry before. Again, after this candlestick pattern, here MACD has also given the same signal. Can you see the difference between lagging indicator and a leading indicator? Yeah, definitely we'll do. Just let us finish this, then we'll go into that. Can we see the difference between leading and lagging indicator? MACD crossover is later than the stochastic because stochastic is a leading indicator and MACD is a lagging indicator. In the same way, can you people see this candlestick pattern reversal and the crossover by the moving average? Can you see this? So when the trend is strong, at that time moving average will give you crossover. When the trend is already developed at that time, and then we'll get the higher targets. But where would be our entry? Our entry should be here itself with a minimum SL, then this would be our first target. It will moving average will also give support and resistance zone. This would be our next target, and again here MACD is also giving crossover. So that is the giving the conviction for this pivot point as our third target, right? And we are getting all three targets. Again here before this third target we got the crossover, so that is again giving us conviction for our third target. Again it retrace little bit. This moving average is giving the support, and again you, whenever you want to take your entry exit, this is the way how you need to work. In our technical setup, we are not going to use only this crossover of moving average, because the only reason behind is that already we are going to use Bollinger Band. Already we are going to use Ichimoku setup in which we are already following moving average. Okay, so we don't need any different moving averages. But if you are interested and if you follow only moving average crossover, then here you people can see this 9 and 26 crossover. Again in the same way 18 and 13 crossover also gives a wonderful result. Is it visible to you all? I'll just remove this pivot points to make it more clear. Okay. Is it clear now? So this crossover is also working wonderfully. But how you will take your entry and exit? Come on. Your entry and exit would be always at a good support resistance zone with a good reversal candlestick pattern. Along with that, you can check with your stochastic. Then going ahead, you can cross or confirm it with the other indicators, right? CBuy stochastic has given entry, candlestick pattern has given entry, support zone is that, and then you look into moving MACD for the double conviction, then look for the moving average crossover for the double conviction, and you can set your targets accordingly. Otherwise, see, this crossover are also giving a wonderful entry and exit zone. But which is the best entry and exit zone according to the SL? The way which we are following, that would be the best entry and exit zone. Clear? These things are clear to you all. I'm going deep into MACD also. I want to show you people the divergence along with the MACD. I want to show you this use of this volumes along with the MACD. But is this clear to you also? Why we are using different indicators in our setup? And if you are mastering one single indicator from this, and you know how to read that indicator, say by if you are already, if you are mastering Ichimoku trading setup, or if you are able to master Bollinger Band along with the stochastic RSI or any other oscillator, if your setup is giving you wonderful accuracy and you have a grip on that indicator, then go with that indicator. That it's nothing wrong in that. But uh, you need to be cautious, and you need to take a grip to read what your indicator is telling. So when moving average is telling you buy, you should know that it should not be your late entry. It is the momentum trade. So along with that, you should add one volume indicator. See, beautiful example over here. Can you people see this crossover of the moving average? The support zone is this. Our entry should be this area, right? Or this area. Our entry would be this area. After going ahead over here, again moving average gave you crossover. Here the stochastic was also giving the crossover over here. Here the stochastic gave the crossover. Again MACD gave crossover over here. And see how wonderfully we got it. As I told you, Ashim sir, we are not going to take our position only based on this crossover. But yes, definitely you can see it in the chart. This crossover works wonderfully. Yeah, it gives beautiful results. But as I explained you all, it will work better in the trending market. Can you see the choppy market effect? We are getting both examples right now, right? Yes. See, can you see the results of this choppy market and the trending market? Can you see the difference? So moving average gives wonderful results more in a trending market. When the market is choppy, it won't give you perfect results. These all things you should understand and remember it. So you will not always fall prey. So you will not fall prey to false signal. That's it. 926 is a good value, sir. Even 9 and 24 works well for intraday trades for shorter time frame. For higher time frame, we can go for other moving averages too for a higher time frame. But for the shorter time frame, 8 and 13 also works well. 9 and 26 also works well. Along with the stochastic, along with the MACD crossover, and along with the volume, along with the candlestick pattern, if you work on this, then definitely it will give you results. But the basics will remain same. First of all, moving average is clear to you all? Yeah. What is the purpose of moving average and what does it tells us? Moving average is a lagging indicator. It is used to show the direction, and it works wonderfully in the trending markets. And many oscillators are based on this indicator. many indicators are based on this moving average. As we are already using Bollinger Band, even MACD we are going to keep it in our technical setup. So even I already told you that we are going to do Ichimoku trading setup. So along we are already using moving averages. So individual moving average crossover. So for individually, we are not going to focus on the moving average crossover for intraday trades. But still, if you people are interested and if you people have a grip over that, and if you know that whether it is a choppy market or a trending market, you can understand it and can make a best of it, then this moving average for intraday trades will give you good results. Clear? Any query for this now? Now, another important thing is that do we need to, do we need to get expertise in all the indicators? No, we don't need to do that. If we are focused on one or two indicators and if that is working well for us, then we don't need to look further. Whatever system or whatever technical setup you people are following, and if it is profitable, please follow that. Not at all, and there is no issue in that. Yeah, definitely by learning other indicators and by learning proper technical setup, you if your setup or if you're not satisfied with the results of your setup, you can explore that or you can add this indicator to your setup. Got it? These all indicators are a helping hands to us. We should analyze them and put it in our charts. According to my experience, I am suggesting you all these indicators and it is giving wonderful results. Okay, so yeah, that is the ready-made technical setup you people are getting. And that doesn't mean that that will also give wonderful results to you people. If you people have a very good experience and and you can make little bit of changes, and if one thing is working good for you, then you can focus for that. And learnings are always, all these learnings will always help you people to decide it. Clear? Anuj sir, you got your answer, sir? Shall I go to natural gas inventory before going ahead to charts? So what is the actual inventory? We need to go to charts also for NG. And what was expected? Actual inventory is more, but is the big difference? Not that big difference, right? Not a big difference. Now, what has happened in the chart? Price had gone down or not? So like yesterday, we may not find a good one way movement, but yeah, definitely little bit will be able to get that. See. Now this is a 15-minute chart. Price has came down, right? According to the inventory, it worked. Yeah, according to the inventory, it has came down. It's 8:35 and inventory was 8:30, right? So it's just a 6 minute we need to observe. Inventory was 8:30. Am I right? It was at 8 o'clock. 1 minute. Okay. Right. So what happened during the inventory and what was the previous impact? Can you see the spike upward spike before moving the downward journey, before starting downward journey at 8 o'clock? Right, it was at 8. See what happened? The price moved upward first and then it has given a one-way downward movement because the inventory was more than expected. But it's not a very huge difference, but yeah, the impact is already seen in the price. The reason why we can see this inventory impact, because in the previous the price would had, okay, just a minute. Technically, which trend is going? Come on, please answer me fast. Downtrend. In the downtrend, it retraced little bit. Yeah, wonderful. It retraced at the prior support zone. See the spike of the NG exactly at the prior support zone. Shall I need to zoom it? Array. Look, exactly at the prior support zone. So in the downtrend, after from the morning it was going upward, little bit of retracement. Again, which trend is continue? Downtrend. So technically also it is going downward perfectly, and that is also supported by the inventory. Am I right? And now exactly it is struggling at the prior support zone. This is the prior support zone. If this will be crossed, then we can see further downward journey. Wow, what a beautiful chart it is. It is difficult for a price to travel down, but till this it can go easily. Afterwards it would be difficult, right? Can you see the prior support zone? Yeah, definitely stochastic will give entry and yeah, put a beautiful prior support zone. Beautiful example, beautiful chart of the NGC. One way upward movement and then one way it is moving downward. And after retracing, after making a spike, it is again coming down. So let's see if it is crossing the support zone or not. Understood NG inventory and the impact of that and how it will work? Any confusion in this? Okay, now ready, sir? What you are asking, sir? For inventory data, you are talking, sir, from previous. It is low now. From previous, it is low. But forget about that, sir. Now see why we don't need to compare it for previous inventory with the actual inventory, because in between the people or the research analyst always tell us the forecasted one. So according to this forecasted inventory, the price action will already follow in the chart. As last Thursday inventory was 112, and on the Thursday itself or on the Friday itself, if a analyst will convey or will forecast the next Tuesday's and next Thursday's inventory data, then what will happen? What is the expected? Come on, answer me first. This was the previous inventory. Forget about this one. Today's inventory. Okay. Now, what was the previous inventory? 112. And what was the forecasted one? 97. So it is less than the previous inventory. So price should go down till next Thursday. So price adjustment should be there. Before Thursday itself will get the adjustment of this. So we need to always, yeah, price should move up, right? Perfect. Price should move up because the inventory was less. So this adjustment would already done by the price action. So today when the actual inventory comes, it is more than the expected. So price will go downward. This is the way how it works. Again, this previous inventory, if you will do little bit of more back testing, then this previous inventory, you need to compare with the previous inventory and check the price at that time. Understood? So if today previous inventory is 112B and at that time, what was the price of NG? Now you compare today's inventory and where the price is standing. Even in crude, even in NG, in all the commodities, this is the way how you need to backtest it, and this is the way how you need to think that if before a week it was 112 and right now it is 98, so where the price is standing? Is the price at the same level or already the price has gone downward according to the, or already the price has gone upward according to the forecasted one? It would had gone upward according to forecasted one in the previous week. And now today, whatever inventory we are getting, we need to just compare according to the forecasted one. Means simple way, I can tell you people that whatever the inventory is that you need to compare today's inventory data with the price. What is the price today and what was the price before a week? Is it standing at the same level, or because of the inventory it should move little bit downward or upward? Got it? This thing is clear. So whenever you backtest inventory data, how you will backtest it? You need to compare the price on the according to the inventory data. You note down the price on the Wednesday for crude. Again, according to the inventory data, you note down the price of the crude on next Wednesday, and then compare. You will get the clear idea and you will understand clearly that why the price has not moved upward or downward, though inventory was downward, because price action would have already followed that. Is is it the demanding number 112B? I didn't got you, sir. It is showing you the inventory data. Demand means no, this is the inventory data. This is the inventory in that we have, that the exchanges have. As the MCX exchange or all the exchange who are keeping this, or the quantity of the uh, yeah, it is telling you the inventory data, what quantity we have. Ashim sir, don't get confused for this. Inside all inventory released by refineries this week itself or next week. uh, 1 minute, I got a plenty of question. When this forecasting is done itself for what? Inventory, whenever we get inventory data, that is the forecast. This forecasted, this forecasted will be kept on. We will able to see the forecasted inventory before a day. Not only before a day, yeah. In some of the website, you may get early also. So before our inventory day, we will get that forecasted one. Exactly, I had not noted the day, that how many days before we get, but yeah, we get it. Ashim sir, what I'm getting that last week demand was 112 and this week is 98. No, last week inventory was 112 and this week the inventory is 98. The availability of the natural gas is 98B. Don't get confused, sir. Understood? Not demand or supply. Inventory, the quantity of natural gas. The last week was 112 and this week is 98. So we need to act on the price. So if the inventory data is less, then price will boost up because we have less quantity. So we will sell it in higher prices. Understood? Ashim sir, you got it? Is it clear to everyone this thing? Ashim sir, you are clear with this? Still you have any query? You are clear or you have any query? I didn't got you. Ashim sir, what you wrote? You wrote no. No means what? No queries? Or you had not understood? No query. Okay, that's good. Anuj sir is asking me, price has already came down during the week. Hence, do not affect at the time of the inventory released info, but big traders already know about it from inside refinery sources. Hence, they play around in a price during week. Exactly. And that is what we get from the expected data and by the price action strategy. Yeah, Anuj Gandhi sir. You're perfect. These things happens. So the impact of inventory data may be already seen before a week. Less supply than forecasted one, more demand. Yeah, means the bullishness. Perfect. If it is less than the forecasted one, if it is a Sanjay Kumar sir, you are asking me that if it is a 96 and the expected was a 97, that means the inventory data is less. So price may go up. It means bullishness. Clear? Clear? Yeah, that's true. Hmm. Okay. So always we need to think such a few factors while looking into inventory. Oh yes, ready, sir. That's good. You reminded me. I actually it slipped from my head. I'll just post it right now, or after just finishing the session, I'll post it in the group itself without fail. During end of the session, okay, I'll not forget now. I'll post it. Okay, sir. Okay. So that was, I think, uh, NG has followed according to the inventory data. See the price. My chart has stopped or what? No, no, no. It has followed properly. See, wonderfully it is. Wonderfully, it is respecting the prior support zone. Let's see if we're getting downward journey from this or not. NG is having a beautiful chart. Wow. It is at the perfect support zone, right? Strong support zone. If this support zone will be broken, then this would be the next target. And if this is not broken, then it may consolidate or it can start upward journey too. But if this is broken, then this would be next target. And if this is broken, then we'll have to check what can be the next target, right? We can apply the pivot points and everything over here to get it. Anyways, now let us again go to MACD. See, I already plotted MACD in the chart. The moving averages is all done. Let us go through theory portion of MACD and again we'll explain you MACD or moving average convergence divergence. Okay. Yeah. See, in general, it's a very beautiful indicator, moving average convergence divergence. It gives wonderful results and we will keep this in our technical setup. See, in general, MACD indicators are used in one of three ways. First of all, crossovers. Second, overbought, oversold conditions. And third is the divergences. Clear. Now, all of you are aware about overbought and oversold conditions, right? No queries for that. You people already know the crossover. That is also very easy. And yes, divergence too, right? Anybody of you had practiced divergences? Anybody of you found the divergence in stochastic, RSI and candlestick pattern or the price? Sorry, not candlestick pattern, but price. Okay, yesterday you found two times in the crude. So please post the pic in that in the group itself. Ashim sir, if you found such a beautiful divergence, then please do that. See now, the same divergence we can find it out in MACD also, and we'll look into live charts today itself. See, crossovers are probably the most popular use of MACDs. A sell signal is generated when the MACD crosses below the signal line, and a buy signal is generated when the MACD crosses above the signal line. In addition, the location of these crossovers in relation to the zero line are helpful in determining buy and sell points. See, if a bullish signals we get when or a bullish crossover are more significant when it takes place below the zero line and confirmation takes place between both line cross above the zero line. What does that mean? That means that if in the oversold zone, when the price is already oversold, at that time, if we get a crossover, then there we will get a beautiful entry with the minimum SL, right? And we can target more huge profits. So crossover is important in the oversold and overbought zone. Now, using the MACD in this way makes it a lagging indicator. So, just like a moving averages, which are also lagging indicators, the MACD works best in a strong trending markets where the moving averages will give you perfect result. Moving average will give you perfect result when there is a strong trend. Clear? Please just keep this thing in your mind. So whenever there is a choppy market, it is a no trading zone for moving averages. Means you just don't trade according to the moving averages when it's a choppy market. It will give you wonderful results and even MACD in the trending market. Clear? Now, MACD and moving averages are intended to keep you on the right side of the market. Okay, so they give us the direction. As they give us a clear direction, even the MACD will give us a crossover, and even moving averages, if we are taking crossover or support and resistance zone, we'll get the clear idea about the trend of the market. And it will keep us on the right side of the buy and the sell. Means what happens that buy and the sell signal will be little late. So sometimes in the choppy market, if we enter a trade after the beginning of the trend and exit before end comes to an end, sorry, I just mixed both point. See, one point is that in the choppy market, if you take entry and exit according to the MACD and moving average, you will not get the clear signal or a good profits. Okay, because then the trend will reverse very fast. And another thing is that if it is a trending market, if the market is trending and we are looking for the huge profits or unidirectional move, if we are going to get a unidirectional move, so at that time, when you enter a trade after beginning of a trend, that is just cut the head of the trend and exit before trend comes to an end. Just cut the tail of the trend. Then what we'll get? Come on, we'll get 70% of the trend. If we cut 15% from the top and 15% from the end, in between we'll get 70% of the trend. So at that time, this moving average will work wonderfully. Not only moving averages, even MACD will work, give wonderful results, and you will able to grab 70% of the trend. And it will also reduce your risk. So this is an advantage of moving average, and the MACD works very well. The same thing in the strong trending market because it is a trend following indicator. So if you are a momentum trader or a strong trend following uh, trader, then MACD gives a wonderful results. It gives us entry little bit late and exit little bit early, but we are getting safe portion of the trend. Got it? Again, we'll just look into the divergence. See, a bearish divergence occur when MACD is making relatively new low, even though price fails to make new low. That means price is not making new low, but MACD is making new low. That will give you positive divergence. That means there is a early sign of the reversal. And in the bullish divergence would be, sorry, a bearish divergence, that price is not making new low, but a MACD is making new low. And the bullish divergence take place when a MACD is between new highs, and even though price fails to make new high. So price is not making new high, but MACD is making new high. That is the another case of the divergence. We'll look into the divergence and MACD right now in the chart. One another principle, the MACD takes the principle of moving average and advances it one step further. Why MACD moving average convergence divergence is an advanced level of yeah, it advances one step further because it gives us a beautiful crossover along with the overbought and oversold zone. Clear? This indicator is useful when examining the interaction between two moving averages In addition, it is helpful in identifying points when the indicator and price diverge. That's what I'm telling you. It is giving us the crossover. It also gives us overbought oversold zone. We'll come to know where the price reversal or the trend reversal happens. And in the trending market, we will get wonderful profits with the help of this indicator. However, you may use it. The MACD could be useful trading companion. Now, let us go to the chart. As I told you, try to keep these two indicators in your chart. Which chart you want to follow? Just a minute. Mm, See, we are just keeping two indicators as of now. One is the moving average and another one is the stochastic. Okay. The chart is too small. 1 minute. Yeah. Fine. Is it visible to all? This is a 2-hour chart. Can you people see the prior resistance zone? It is showing clear sell signal. Just check, it's creating so much of less noise. This is a 2-hour chart. Are you getting this? It crossed this support. It opened gap away. Okay, now tell me. This answer I need from everyone, okay? Which gap is this? Which gap was this? Who will answer me? I want this answer from everyone. This is a 2-hour chart. Which gap was this? Milling sir, what was the type of the gap? Which gap was this? This is the 2-hour chart. Amit sir, how common gap? It is not filled up on the very same day. It filled up, I think, yesterday. This gap I am talking about, this gap. So how it is a common gap? It's not a common gap, right? Still, I have not got answer from everyone. Ashim sir, whether you found any consolidation before that? Are you finding any consolidation, or what is the trend ahead? What is the trend ahead, Ashim sir? So in the downtrend, when the trend is already strong and again price opens a gap down and it goes to its target, what is that gap? Once it will receive its target, and then again it may reverse. We know that it is a down gap. Which type of gap it is? Yes, Girish sir, your answer is right. Yes, Amit sir, your answer is right. What about others? Where are others? Ashim sir, what I am asking, which gap is this? Yes, Mendra sir, you're right. Your answer is right. Yeah, the gap is clearly visible to everyone. The gap is visible, right? You can see gap, Ashim sir. Gap is there. It is a 2 hour chart. Prior trend was a downtrend, right? In the downtrend, all of a sudden, again, we are getting a gap down opening, right? And after gap down opening, it is not covering the gap in the same session, but it is covering the gap in the next session after finishing its target. So which gap is this? Yes, right. It is a runaway gap. What about others? Where are others? Many had joined, only 4 to 5 people had answered me. Where are others? Beautiful example of the runaway gap. And a perfect sell signal at the resistance zone. If it is broken, then this would be the next target. Anyways, right now we'll not focus on that, but we are going to learn MACD. So see, you people can see the price of the MACD, and along with that it also gives you the volume. This Yes, Anuj sir. Now coming to the MACD, what we need to consider. So first of all, simple thing you need to consider is the crossover. Okay. Yes, one more question for, but I understood that any gap happened or above yesterday's high or below yesterday's low, it can be breakaway gap. No, sir, you are wrong, sir. You just go through this gap analysis class of gap theory once, and still if you have any query, then ask me tomorrow. Ashim, sir, please do that. Okay, sir. Yes, Anuj Gandhi, sir. Now let us look into the MACD. First of all, we need to look for the crossover of MACD. Crossover will give us a buy and a sell signal, right? If we get this crossover below zero line or near to zero line, then it is more important, means that can give a good profit points, right? Along with that, it also shows you the volume of the candle. Along with the crossover, here you can see this crossover has increased the green volume. Here the red volume has been decreased. This crossover and the red volume has red volume has increased and green volume has decreased. Clear? See here again, it is a crossover and green volume has increased, right? Here again the cell crossover and the red volume has increased. So this volume also works wonderfully. So in just MACD, you just need to look for the crossover, and along with that, how you will look for the crossover, the same thing you need to follow. You need to check the good reversal candlestick pattern at the support and resistance zone. And just a minute. Yeah, if we get a good reversal candlestick pattern along with at the support and resistance zone, and along with that, if it is giving MACD is giving a crossover, then it is a buy and a sell. Now, along with this MACD, how will double confirm it? We will look into good reversal candlestick pattern. Higher the time frame, higher would be the accuracy, right? So we'll look into good candlestick pattern at support or resistance zone, any support or resistance zone, and along with that, first of all, we look that whether the stochastic is also suggesting same, and again looking ahead, if a MACD is also suggesting same, then we can go for a buy or sell. Our entry and exit would be based on the candlestick pattern. Okay, here itself will make an entry. This will give us a conviction for the further targets. See here also at the resistance zone, we can see the reversal candlestick pattern, right? And see the sell. Again, see here. So here the crossover was given by stochastic, and here the crossover is given by MACD. Got it? So we will get the further targets too. Now I am any query for this? This is clear to all. Now I'm closing this stochastic, and now I'm making you people understand. See, it's nothing like a accurate direction or not. It is like that. It is already oversold situation. And when the price is oversold, at that time, if we get a beautiful buy signal at the support zone, means it is already oversold. But you don't need to worry. Along with this crossover, we are already going to keep a Bollinger Band in our charts, right? So you will come to know that it is a oversold situation, and already MACD is also asking you to make a buy in the oversold zone. So it's the just that we can target more profits, because if it is in oversold zone, and if we get a good buy signal, then we may get further targets. That's it. And you can just look into the volume also along with your entry and exit. Nothing else than that. And overbought and oversold zone will get through MACD, through stochastic, through RSI, and even through Bollinger Band. So see, the thing is that here, according to the MACD, above zero if you get, or below zero if you get such a crossover, we expect the height still top. Means it is the we are trying to pick it from the bottom. Okay, in the same way, if we get a cell over this side or over at the top, then we are picking the top for the cell. That's it. Now, just now, shall we look for the divergence? Any other query? Yeah, and this volume helps a lot that it is also going. Shall I go for the divergence in MACD? Yeah, here itself, let us look into the divergence. See, here 13, 14 crossover. Here you are telling, sir. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This one, this crossover, And this crossover, it's a 19. No, it's not a case of the divergence. For what you are, this 13 crossover is a beautiful divergence in the oversold zone, right? And the price has given that candlestick pattern has given the entry over here itself, right? And along with that little bit profit, again the MACD has given the crossover, which is giving us the double conviction for our entry. And see the movement. Again this sell. See, you people can see here itself the candlestick pattern has given the sell entry. And we got a beautiful sell. Yeah, it was a news-based movement. This is not always expected, but still, MACD worked nicely. It has given a beautiful crossover. Here also, it has given a crossover, right? And see the spike. Now here, let us look into this. If we get good divergence, here I don't find a divergence. Here I am getting the divergence. This one, see. Just look here. This is the crossover or a high made, right? Then price is making higher high. But if what does the MACD does? Is MACD making higher high? Is MACD making higher high? Come on. No, it is almost same, nearby same. It is little bit more than the previous one, but the price is made higher high. This means that is a sort of divergence, and you can see the downtrend, right? It is the case of the divergence, which tells you the early sign of, it gives us the early sign for the reversal. Now look here. Here the price is making crossover over here, and here it is making crossover over here. Can you see the divergence? The price is making same high, right? Almost same high, or it is making higher high. This high is little bit higher than this, right? I need to draw this, or it is clearly visible to you all? Price is making little bit higher high, or almost same high. Is MACD making same high? Answer please. Is MACD making same high? No, it is making lower high. What does this means? It is the early indication of the reversal, and see the result. This is the divergence which works wonderfully in the charts and which will give us an early indication of the signal. See, this is the head and shoulder pattern. Here you can getting, this is the low. This is the previous resistance. Your MACD has given a sell signal. Again, it has given the buy signal. It's nothing like that, that lower high or a higher high, but any sort of the divergence gives us a good result. What does that? It doesn't give us a signal for buy and sell, but it tells us that what can be the direction. As there is a divergence, we can conclude that it can be a reversal, or the price may give a good reversal. It shows us the direction for the trend. Got it? See here the price is making higher high, but MACD is making lower high. Here the high is this, and here the high is this. What does this mean? This means that the momentum or the sellers are not that good. Sorry, buyers are not that good, and they are decreasing. And see the volume also, and see the crossover for the sell, and see what a fall we are getting. This is called the divergence. Any further examples required for the divergence? You people will find such divergence. Every time you won't get a divergence. Okay. You need to search for this. Red and green bar are suggesting you the volume. Green bar tells you that the green volume is increasing. They are very important. See, along with this, MACD is giving crossover, and along with this, the green bar is showing you the volume of buyers. So you can stay there with the conviction. Clear? Any further example required for the this divergence? You people will practice it. Please practice this MACD, keep it on your chart, and also practice divergence. Tomorrow we are going to start a very, very important session, that is Ichimoku. So please you should be fresh enough to grasp the topic. Okay. So we'll meet tomorrow evening again at 7:30 p.m. Today we finished the NG inventory too along with this. Yeah, and very important, we will start today, tomorrow, Ichimoku trading setup. Okay, shall I wind up for the day? Any other queries? That's the spirit, Mahendra sir. And once again, thanks to each and everyone who had taken time to post their valuable feedback, and those who are left to do that, please, just a gentle request from my side, take out some time and post your feedback. It's very, very important. Yeah, definitely. Just tell me where to post. Ashim sir, you need to post at feedback@stockfinex.com. The same link. That's good, Girish sir, that you found session good. Please post your feedback, Girish sir. Yeah, Mahendra sir, what's your query? Candlestick pattern completed. We missed the entry. How to overcome this? Following 1 hour chart, when candlestick complete, if we miss the entry, you will get, see, in the hourly chart also, you will get the safer side second entry. I will explain you, sir. You will get a chance if you are looking for the higher time frame. Definitely you will get a chance to make your entry again. And one very important thing, Mahendra sir, if you miss any entry, don't run behind any entry. Unlimited opportunities you will get. But still this candlestick pattern, if you are following hourly chart and if you are missing entry, and if you feel that according to 1 hour chart, it's a good sell, and the SL would be this, then you can take an entry and according to the 15-minute chart, and accordingly you just need to keep your SL, right? That you can do, but your SL will little bit more. That's it. No, sir, it's a feedback link. Feedback@stockfinex.com. Feedback@stockfinex.com. It's a link. Yeah, for a mail. It's a mail link for the mail. Okay. So shall I wind up for the day, and we'll be waiting for the feedback. I'll post the feedback link also along with this. Today I'm going to forward this link, right? So we'll fill that also. Oh wow, that's wonderful, ready, sir. I'll just note down that I was very low today. I just went to doctor and take had already taken the medicine. It's a very bad weather over here. All of a sudden, it's raining at night and the days are very hot, especially. So I'd already taken medicine, but this syrup also I'll note it down and will take it, sir. Thanks a lot for that. Really feeling better after taking medicine, but still my eyes are closing as of now. It's feeling so very much drowsy. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks, Reddy sir, once again. Okay, we'll meet tomorrow evening. Yeah. Good night.